Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing well. As you can see from here, like for this video here, I was doing a race with the Lamborghini Huracan Group 4 at Catalunya without the chicane at the end of the circuit. Additionally, as you can see here, I was using the PSVR2 because recently I saw the PSVR2 being offered as a discount, and I was like, hey, I always wanted to try out the PSVR2. So why not just buy it in the end? Because recently I've been watching a lot of videos about the PSVR 2 from other various amount of YouTubers, and I also had the chance to try it out I think half a year ago, and I was quite excited after purchasing it, obviously. And when I had the chance to try it out back then, it was obviously really cool. For some reason on this corner here, like as you can see it here, I was having some sort of calibration issue, which was quite scary, because for this corner here, I wasn't able to see anything for the exit at least, so I had to recalibrate it once again. So I apologize, Vilasa, if you're watching the video, because it wasn't my intention to break the car all of a sudden, because I had to use the pause button in order to recalibrate it. But furthermore, we were also starting to race from last position because I always like to do the daily races without setting a lap time. Obviously, you can argue about the entertainment purposes of it, but the other reason why I also like to start from the back of the grid is pretty much for me being able to keep practicing my racecraft and also like my race IQ. With race IQ, I mean such as positioning your car on the right time, on the right moment. Whereas here you were able to see like a little bit of a carnage happening right in front of me. So we were having a good run out of it, but here I decided to help Paul by giving him a bump draft. Like Paul, such as the other drivers, he's also one of the world champions, and also the TGR winner in 2023. So he managed to win 2 championships last year. So he's also like one of the very fastest drivers ever in Gran Turismo. And furthermore, he's also like pretty young, so he also has a huge and bright future in front of him, in my opinion. But nevertheless, we will also try to fight through the field against all the other drivers here. And what I also found positively surprising is that you have so many drivers, even with a low DR, like relatively speaking, like with a low driver rating in this race, having a really good pace here. So this makes the racing quite exciting, especially if you would like to practice and also battle against the other drivers here. But also from my side, when I was using the PSVR2, obviously I had to get used to it because it's a completely different feeling compared to me using the normal bumper cam, obviously. But nevertheless, it was kind of exciting to use the PSVR2 for this race here. I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't able to try it out last week when we had the Sardinia A daily race back then, which was in my opinion one of the best daily races we've ever had so far in this game. Like the slipstream was almost perfect, the strategy was also almost perfect, or pretty much almost the entire setting was perfect in my opinion. But hopefully maybe for next week we can also try out the PSVR2 for some other daily races, or maybe even for this week, because for daily race A we have the special stage route X, I believe, so this is like quite a fun combo. Then on the same time for daily race B we have the group 3 class at Laguna Seca, so maybe there's something which can be tried out in the end. But for this race here, as I was using the PSVR2, I wanted to use the Huracan just in case. Yes, it's the meta car, unfortunately. And even yesterday I tried out the Subaru WRX just for one race. Obviously, as I pretty much entered the race without any practice, I didn't want to compare my pace to the fastest drivers. already, but after the race, when I saw the tire wear between my car and the Huracan, I was like, okay, that's great. So I guess, yeah, we have to use the Huracan for this race. I think there are also like some other cars which could be used as an alternative. So for example, for this race here, Villasor was using the NSX, and I think with the NSX it's possible not to change the tires in the pits, but I'm not quite sure how much it will affect towards the end of the race, where he will probably end up losing a lot of time compared to the Huracan at least. Because for the Huracan you have to change the tires, even though it's not as bad as the other four-wheel drive cars. But yeah, it's just not really ideal if you want to try out other Group 4 cars in this race. I think there's also the Alfa Romeo 4C, which also has like good tire wear, I believe. But other than that, it's a bit difficult to try out different cars here. As for the strategy for this race, obviously it's a one stop. We all have to do like a mandatory pit stop in this race. The only question obviously is at what time, or like in which lap you pretty much have to pit in, and that's why you can pretty much do or like decide on your own depending on the race situation. Because I've seen few people deciding to pit at the end of lap 2 or lap 3 even, because there was like such a huge group in front of that driver, and obviously if he had stayed out, then he would have lost a lot of time because of the fighting against the other drivers in front of him. But then you can also try to overcut instead, so like you can also try to stay out till the end of lap 6 or till the end of lap 7, so that you can have the best tire life towards the end of the race. But I think if you're like starting from the front, and if you would like to try and go for the fastest race time in the end, ideally you would like to pit at the end of lap 5, so that with less fuel you can finish the race with a set of tires for the last remaining 6 laps. So I think that's almost pretty much it, because like in terms of the amount of, like in terms of the lap times you should try to aim for in order to be competitive here. Obviously you also have the slipstream setting here, which is a bit helpful if you want to try and stick with the group in front of you. But if you are driving on your own, if you are able to do like high 46s up to low 47s, that's where I think you should be having like a pretty good pace here. And as for the brake balance setting, I was using +5 for the Huracan here. I felt like with that brake balance setting I was able to save the front tires a lot better than before. Before, I mean, previously I was using +3 on that car, because I felt like whenever I wanted to brake into a corner, the rear always stepped out. But with +5 I feel like you can save the tires even better in the end, which is like pretty crucial if you want to try and overtake as many cars as possible. And for this corner here, because of Pol missing the apex of the corner, I also misjudged the entrance of the corner and also missed the apex ever so slightly, but nevertheless we were able to gain 2 positions here. And I think this is also the lap, I think on the next lap, because we also tried to stay out for one more lap, we will also go into the pits and try to finish the race in that way. I mean, you can have a better pace than the car in front of you, and also here I also tried to overtake DG here. There was like slight contact here, which I apologize from my side, hence I also tried to give him as much space as possible. And I think at the exit of that corner he is going to have a better exit than me and also overtake me, I believe. Yeah, which you can see on the radar here on the bottom right hander. So I decided to let him through, because I also didn't want to lose as much time as possible, because I think Pol already pitted in, so we have to try to kind of overcut him at this point. But it's also like pretty crucial not to get any penalties here, because on the upper right hander before you finish sector 2, which is pretty much that corner here, like the upcoming right hander, if you run a bit too wide on the left hand side, then you will get like a penalty here, or on the previous corner, the person in front of me also received a half a second penalty, unfortunately. So the track limits are a bit harsh on this track. For me, this corner here, this particular corner on the right hand side, if you run a bit too wide on the right hand side, that's why you will also get like a half a second penalty. And I received lots of penalties here, unfortunately. Yeah, which didn't help my race in the end. But it's like you have to keep driving in order to keep learning. So I also took that as a lesson so that we wouldn't be doing the same mistake again, or let's say try to minimize the amount of track limit penalties I would receive in the end. So yeah, like this is, I think, pretty much all what I wanted to say at this point. Because as you can see, I'm sorry, because as you can see it here on the left hand side, you were able to see so many fast drivers joining the lobby. Like we had Lewis here, Elias, Brea, obviously another world champion with Pol Urra. Yeah, this lobby was really stacked, and yeah, Damien was here as well. Sorry for not mentioning you earlier. And yeah, but it was really fun because, like, unfortunately it's like a one make race here, as you have to use the Huracan in order to have like a really good race here. But nevertheless, you could still have fun in that race, especially with the custom slip, as it's not too powerful in my opinion. But you know, like some people have like a different opinion towards that, which is obviously fine and respected. And yeah, but I would like to let you enjoy the final, like the last remaining laps here, and also please let me know what you find, or like what you think of me using the PSVO2 for this race here. Like if you also would like to see it more or not, let me know. And this was also like me trying to commentate towards another race once again. And if you also think you would like to see those kind of videos more often, then yeah, please let me know about it as well. Because for last week, for the Sardinia daily race, I really wanted to do it because there I also wanted to explain about the strategy and yeah, pretty much all the important informations you have to know in order to do that race properly, so that so that you could also have a pretty good race in the end. But last week I had to fly to Japan on Tuesday because we had the Race of Champions, and I also managed to get back home on Sunday last week. So because of that, I wasn't able to have or like to upload those kind of videos, because I wanted to try and upload as many videos as I could during that time, but I was only able to do that without commentating on it. So, but now as I'm back home once again, I can try to kind of commentate on those kind of videos. And yeah, just let me know what you think of it. Like if you would like to see me using the PSVO2 more often, and also yeah, what the opinion is in terms of me commentating on those kind of races, where I would also explain the strategy and me sharing some information about it. And also if there was like a race scenario which had to be explained, for example me overtaking another driver, even though we would end up losing a lot of time, just let me know, because I also would like to try and yeah, maybe improve on myself towards that. Obviously my commentary isn't the best, so I also would like to try and improve on that matter. But yeah, once again I would like to thank you all for watching and supporting me. As you can see here, because of me running a bit too wide on the right hand side, I got a track limit penalty here, so yeah, that corner's pretty harsh, but yeah, we have to learn from that. We have to learn from that. But anyway, I wish you all a nice day still, or like a nice, like a good night, good morning, wherever you're watching it from. Furthermore, I also wish you all to stay safe, enjoy this week's daily races, and I also wish you all, um, yeah, like happy, no, sorry, Merry Christmas. Like from my side, I'm not celebrating it, because I'm a Muslim, but nevertheless, I would like to wish you all Merry Christmas and also celebrate it with your friends, with your beloved ones. And hopefully, yeah, I will also be able to see you guys on the next time, right? So until then, see you.